In this week's video, we head to Stanley Park in Vancouver to photograph some old growth forest and possibly encounter some wildlife along the way, so follow along and see what we encounter.
Cute little buggers. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you take a picture of those? Yeah.
Hey, why don't you take a picture of me? Hey, take my picture.
Okay, good morning everybody. We are here at Stanley Park. And that sidewalk is closed. Man, they got a lot closed off here for construction. Goes across. I'm gonna go head back this way, I think. There was some nice stuff. So basically I'm here because the girlfriend is doing an exam today downtown and I had to drop her off anyway. So I figured what better opportunity to head into Stanley Park and see if I can photograph some trees or any other intimate details I found. I just want to get out and practice with this Fuji a little bit. You know, it's medium format is new to me, so I need a little bit of practice with it. I'm back filming with my phone. I had the ZV-1 last time, but it was a little bit shaky for me. The stabilization wasn't so great and it was cropped in so tight. And let's be honest, this is just way easier. So we'll head into the forest and see what we can find. I'm looking for some old growth trees or some interesting root sections that I can photograph. I'm not sure. Gotta remember where I parked too. So a lot of construction happening, so easy to get turned around because lots of stuff's closed. I know I'm kind of near the rose garden, so let's see what we can find. Okay, so I'm just waiting for that bus to stop. Anyway, I think I found my first kind of neat composition. It's still fairly dark out. You can see I'm just kind of in the middle of this garden that's here. And I found this little pond, and it's really still. It's reflecting all the trees in the sky, and it's nice because the sky's pretty dark right now, so it's not too full of highlights. I'll show you the back of the camera here. It's around a 6-second exposure. 6.5 seconds. I just have it at f5.2 because it's not, there is no depth of field to it. It's just literally shooting the reflection. So anyway, if this first shot turns out half decent, here it is. Well, I gotta admit, the one nice thing about coming to Stanley Park at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's not really too much else here. This is kind of a cool tree. I'll flip the camera on, let you see it. It's interesting, it's a stump that's been cut off. Then there's 2 new trees that are growing out of it, so I might set up and see if I can get a shot of that. Kind of interesting. Okay, so there's the back of the camera. I set it up, I don't really need the ground, or I just kind of focused on that interesting shape in the middle. Shooting it at f8, but I'm going to try a couple of different aperture settings to make sure that it's all in focus. I don't care if the background's in focus or not, so I just kind of got rid of most of it. So anyway, if it turns out half decent, here's the second shot. Okay, so hopefully a couple of these shots are turning out. Pretty long exposures. because it's fairly flat and gloomy today. I've had such a strong, long string of hot, dry weather. It's amazing that there's still some green going on in here. Those are some cool big leaves. This is the trail to Beaver Lake. I've never actually been out here. I don't think I'm going to take any photos here unless there's a... trying to stick to kind of abstract or whatever today a little bit. Remember, this is the way we came in. Pipeline Road. I've never been out here though, so let's go have a look at it. Okay, so Beaver Lake. I do have to be a little bit honest here. Shooting with this new Fuji system, I'm a little apprehensive because I don't know it that well yet. Or again, I had Fuji once before, but it's been quite a while. So I'm relearning that system, plus now it's medium format versus what I had was APS-C at the time, and coming from full frame, so I haven't quite backed out of the Sony yet. I'm keeping my my body and a few lenses just to have. The girlfriend's using them anyway, so I do have them, and I did chicken out and bring my old A7R II with the 100 to 400 on it today, just in case I can't get what I want with the Fuji, because I only have one lens. Fuji, if you're watching. Come on, man. $3,000 for the wide angle lens. I do work for a living. So I am selling a few lenses to try to get the wide angle Fuji, but I'm gonna keep some of the Sony stuff. You know, commitment issues. I found this kind of cool little path that goes down here. I didn't even know it was here. It goes down, there's a little creek and a little bridge and stuff down here. We will take this, because I've never been this way before. I don't come to Stanley Park all that often because it's always so busy down here, but I was kind of forced to come down here, so might as well take advantage, right? Just a little creek that runs through here. Not sure where this goes, if it just goes out to the... I think I can see the beach and stuff out that way. We'll take a wander in. Pretty sure it comes out at the water, because I can hear seaplanes and stuff. Not that you can't anyway when you're around here. Nice mossy trees. I'll wander a bit and see where this ends up. And that is in fact exactly what happens. Comes out at the seawall. Didn't know it was here though. Sure there's nobody living in here. Almost got killed by a runner a few minutes ago. Alright. Alright. Well, we don't want to be on the seawall, so we'll turn around and go back the other way. Okay, I just came back to Beaver Lake on that trail. It's just a little side trail. I kind of found these this neat little grove of trees here with lots of interesting trees, and I'll flip the camera around and let you have a look at it. Okay, sorry I had to wait for that helicopter to go by. I just liked from this vantage point right here, you have these trees here, and there's a tree in the middle there, a tree in the back, and then a tree in the far corner of the screen. Probably shoot something like that. I might use a Pano. I'm going to experiment a little bit here, and I'll show you once I've found the composition I like. So I couldn't resist myself. I did a 64 by 28 Pano, and that's how it looks. I got rid of most of the top and bottom because it wasn't necessary. Cyclists. yeah, I think it looks pretty good on the camera to see when I get it home. I did a three-shot focus stack because it's a very deep scene, lots of foliage and that. So I took one shot of this middle tree, one shot of that tree between those two trees, and then one focus point at the back on that old tree in the back there. So if it turns out half decent, here it is. Look at these three cute little buggers. They're mad at me. I'm not gonna bug you. There's another one on the other side too. Hello, gentlemen. Allow me to pass by. You seem pretty tame. It's not bothered by me at all. I thought they were going to scatter when I came up here, but turns out that's not the case. Little guy. Having breakfast? I'll leave you to it. Cute little buggers. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you take a picture of those? Yeah. I'm not an animal guy, really. I don't set out to take pictures. If it was a bobcat, I might, but just chipmunks and squirrels, I'm not, it's not my thing. So, but they are cute. So we're doing the Beaver Lake loop. March on, see where it goes. Well, I mean, I know it's doing a loop, but see if we see anything else I like the look of. It is starting to rain a little bit. Hopefully that goes away. So, oddly enough, I stopped for a second to just check something on the camera and decided to take this little branch because I thought I still got some time to kill. And look where it took me. Right back to where I started. Okay, so I'll wander around a little bit more up here and see if I can find something different to photograph. I wanted to go across the street here, but everything's fenced off. I think it might be the train, where the train runs when it's actually working. So there's a path across the way here. I'm gonna go take that. I think I found something kind of neat here. There's a tree, an old dead tree that I can't tell if this one in the back is growing out of it or beside it. I think it's growing out of it. And it's got a bunch of roots growing down it. I'll flip the camera on and show you. Look at how cool that is. And there's a new tree growing right out of it. So the other side of this was pretty cool too. It's got lots of interesting textures, and there's a cool, I'm just gonna get in here a little bit. Some cool shapes and stuff and colors in here, so we'll see if I can get set up. Like I said, I don't have a really wide angle lens. I'll see if I can get set up and get a shot of this. I'm gonna be honest, I'm struggling a bit to get the composition right. You can see what I framed up on the camera here. It looks okay, but the problem is I've got that bright white background and I just can't get rid of it. If I get closer to the tree, then I lose some of the roots on the side and I just get the middle, which I did. If that one in the middle turned out half decent, I'll show you that one now. Alright, so what I ended up doing is just really darkening down the exposure compensation. I know the histogram's exposed to the left, which we don't like, but it got rid of some of that really bright white in the background. Then I can take it down a little bit more in post and bring up the shadows to expose the detail in the tree. So you saw the close-up one. If this further back shot turns out half decent, here's this attempt now. Okay, made my way down to Third Beach. I'm not sure what the tide is doing at the moment. I didn't check. Just kind of firing blindly here. Got another hour on the parking roughly. And those helicopters are loud. And we did get kind of lucky because it is a fairly low tide right now, so I'm gonna walk out and see if I can find a nice piece of driftwood or something to take a photo of that's semi-interesting. Let's go see if we can find something. There's a couple of seaplanes coming in. See? Planes? One there and one right behind them. And yeah, here we are on Third Beach. It's pretty quiet right now, which is nice. One lady walking her dog, but other than that, there's just some people on the seawall. Drum circle hasn't began yet, so I was hoping there'd be a really nice piece of driftwood out on that rock jutty there, or whatever you want to call it, but there isn't. Surprised. Might go out there anyway and just wander around. I was thinking about doing like a shot of the rocks that are surrounded in water, and that, but it's pretty bright out. I don't think it'll be a long enough exposure to do it justice, and I don't have any ND filters for this camera yet. Just have the circular polarizer, so I don't know. I'll make my way out onto this rock area, see what I can see. Alright, so I made my way out onto this. It is rock. I thought it might be sand when I got out here, but it is solid rock. Kind of interesting. The geese are all feeding on something up there. I was going to have a look and see if I could see anything cool in these little tidal pools, but like starfish or something, but they're just big puddles right now. It is neat out here. Lots of kelp, I guess these are. I'm not a sea expert. Let me try. It's duck swimming around. I'm not here for you. It's kind of a cool little rock. Thought about doing a shot something like that, but I don't know if my lens is wide enough for that. I'll keep looking around. I think what I'm going to do is make my way through these boulders out to where the water's just receded. Maybe I can find some interesting shapes in the sand. These boulders are neat, but they're just so disorganized, so wondering if I can maybe get something like this, the green boulder with the interesting sand shapes around it. I might take this shot, it's kind of cool. Okay, as you can see, I made my way out here on the beach. It's getting busier and busier. There's people and dogs, and tried to find some really interesting shapes in the receding water here, but it's not that easy to find at the moment. I did find one that's kind of okay. It's this little rock with some interesting textures around it, and a couple of shells that are laying from the sea that's washed it up. Other than that, I don't know. I've only got 20 minutes left on my parking, so I'm gonna take this shot, and if it turns out half decent, here it is. did kind of find one last neat shot here of all these interesting shapes on the sand from the receding tide. What I did is I put it in the Pano setting, I know, but it looked really cool with, and I just kind of started it right where those shapes start, about like that, and I did a really wide Pano. And now I have 10 minutes left on my parking, so I'm gonna walk back because I gotta get all the way back up there. So hopefully these shots turned out. Hopefully the girlfriend's doing well on her test. And if you like the videos, make sure you give a like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the videos. Leave a comment. See you on the next one, everybody. Bye for now.